Alright, how is it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Crucible Brothers. My name is Lionhearts, and today, Gumi came to me with the demented idea to review every single rapid-fire scout rifle in the game and tell you what is the best, what is the worst, and why you should be using this underrated archetype of rifle in the first place. Now, I know, it's crazy to recommend a scout rifle that isn't named Dead Man's Tale, but rapid-fire scout rifles deserve your attention. They've been underrated for a while, quite good in the current meta for a long time as well, and with the recent changes to the game, including the special ammo nerfs, they have a lot more room to shine in a limited special ammo world. So before we get too deep into the weeds, make sure you take a second, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more to help us reach 10,000 subscribers as fast as possible, and leave a comment down below. All those things help the video in the YouTube algorithm, helps more people find the channel, helps the views keep going up, so the channel can keep growing. So just do it. 1 like, 1 sub, 1 comment equals 1 added to your KD every time you do it. So if you want the infinite KD glitch, make sure you get to it. Alright, so what makes the rapid fire scout archetype so much better than every other scout? Well, what it really boils down to is that it breaks the mold of what a scout rifle is in Destiny 2. You see, scout rifles typically require pretty much 100% crits for their optimal time to kill. Their optimal time to kill tends to be a little bit slow, and they're just a little bit clunky and kind of hard to use. Rapid fires pretty much break all of those rules. They have a fast fire rate, they put out a lot of damage, they don't require all of their crits for optimal. They make damage perks very relevant by lowering its time to kill drastically. They're very much an aggressive, in-your-face, dueling archetype of scout rifle. Similar to how DMT works, it's just a lot faster. On the surface, you have a 0.93 base time to kill with rapid-fire scout rifles, but that's with 4 crits and 1 body, and depending on resilience, sometimes 3 crits and 2 body. This is pretty forgiving for scout rifles, and when you consider the rate of fire, that is a reasonable time to kill to hit most of the time. As soon as you add damage perks like Kill Clip, Rampage, Multi-Kill Clip, Adagio, you suddenly drop that time to kill drastically. Specifically with Kill Clip, Rampage, and Multi-Kill Clip, you can drop that time to kill to 0.67 right away, and with certain damage boosts being stacked, you can get it all the way down into the 0.4 range in some cases. I've gotten 3 tap kills with Contingency Plan consistently because of Kill Clip and stacking damage bonuses, and that is lethal. Luckily, rapid fires are now in a place where there's quite a lot of options for you to choose from. There are currently 5 rapid-fire scout rifles in the game. There's the Trustee, the Contingency Plan, the Aisha's Embrace, the Servant Leader, and the exotic Symmetry. For the most part, statistically, all of these weapons are very close to each other. The biggest differences are perk access, zoom, and scope picture, and then also Symmetry's interesting exotic niche. Now, because I pay attention to YouTube analytics, we're actually going to start off with what I would consider to be flat-out the best rapid-fire scout rifle in the game, and that is the Contingency Plan. Unfortunately, Contingency Plan is also probably the hardest of these scout rifles to obtain. It is a world drop weapon, meaning you have to use gunsmith bounties, gunsmith engrams, you have to hope you get it from just a world drop from an enemy, you gotta turn in your umbrals to the very source where you can convert umbrals into world drops. The world drop pool, unfortunately, is large, so getting a Contingency Plan to drop and then getting a god roll is quite rare. But if you get one, it is absolutely worth it. The perk pool is small, and there's only a few viable options, but if you get it, it is straight up one of the best weapons in the entire game, flat out. Now, I know that's kind of tough to swallow, especially when we're in a game state that's dominated by such powerhouses like Ostringer, Last Word, Peace of Mind, Palindrome, Fatebringer, all of these super powerful primaries, but Contingency Plan can stand heads and shoulders with them, especially in the right scenarios when you get used to it. What Contingency Plan brings to the table is a viced rapid-fire scout rifle with an extremely clear scope, and it's the only one of these rapid-fire scouts that has access to just straight-up Kill Clip. And Kill Clip is arguably the best damage perk for these weapons, because of its simplicity and overall damage bonus. Multi-Kill Clip, Rampage, those are lower damage bonuses, but Kill Clip gets you an immediate and higher damage boost so that you can start 4-tapping right away, and as soon as you add another damage boost on top of that, you then start 3-tapping. So, hey, Radiant is everywhere, right? So if you get Radiant and a kill with Contingency Plan, you proc Kill Clip plus Radiant, You are now 3-tapping, doing 73 to the head, and you are killing people as fast or even faster than what you would see with like an old Desperado. Add on to that amazing utility perks like Surplus, Outlaw, No Distractions, Firmly Planted, and you have an incredible weapon. Statistically speaking, again, all of these rapid fire scouts are very close, but Contingency Plan's weapon design is slightly different. It's lower profile, it has a slightly smaller scope, and it's the second lowest zoom of the archetype, which helps counteract kind of the issue with rapid fire scouts, is that due to their rate of fire and their recoil, they don't like have a lot of recoil in the sense of recoil you have to control, but they have a lot of visual recoil. The scopes are jumpy. Use the Aisha's Embrace or the Servant Leader and you see it right away. These things jump all over the place. Contingency Plan doesn't. For whatever reason, the way this weapon is coded, it does not jump like a maniac when you fire it, making it a goddamn laser beam. Contingency Plan flat out, best rapid fire scout in the game. Like, it's not even close. This thing is fantastic. The only thing that could potentially beat it is if you get a rapid fire scout like Trustee, and it would only be if Trustee was changed or updated and had better perks. Trustee doesn't have any traditional damage perks, and that's what holds it back from being better than Contingency Plan flat out. But S tier, S tier, S tier, Contingency Plan is fantastic. If you have one, you are very lucky. I love this thing. It's one of my favorite weapons of all time. Now, coming in at a close second place is the Aisha's Embrace Trials of Osiris Scout Rifle. Aisha's Embrace is kind of like, it's right there. It's almost as good as Contingency Plan. What it really lacks is kind of the difference in perk options. Frankly, Multi-Kill Clip, Adagio, these are great damage options for this archetype. They just aren't as good as Kill Clip. Focus Fury, it's bait. Perpetual Motion, Unrelenting, Tunnel Vision, these are all fantastic perks. But honestly, Surplus and the Contingency Plan, overall better for this archetype of weapon. So, Aisha's, it has accessibility, it's easy to get it from trials, the Adept version is amazing and was very frequently gotten 2 weeks ago when it came back up. And it's still good, it's still incredible. If you have a God Roll Aisha's, this thing is still super powerful, and frankly it's your best bet in terms of accessibility because you don't need to play Gambit for Servant Leader, you don't have to do a raid for Trustee, and you don't have to roll the dice for Contingency Plan. This is pretty much like, if Contingency Plan wasn't in the game, this would be the best rapid fire scout rifle. Multi-kill clip, perpetual motion, high caliber rounds, you get arrowhead break. This thing definitely rips. It's a little bit bouncier. That bounciness is kind of going to be the breaking point for me personally. If you've used all of these rapid fire scouts, you're going to know what I'm talking about. You'll see it a little bit in the gameplay. It's a little bouncy. It's kind of why I don't like it overall. It's just, that bounce is a real killer for me. It can make follow-up shots a bit difficult, especially when receiving flinch. A small note about Adagio. Adagio is usually a bad perk because it doesn't really change your time to kill. Well, with the damage bonus and the relative rate of fire decrease here, it's still a net time to kill decrease for this archetype of weapon. This is one of the few times where Adagio is a net good instead of being a net negative. So if you get an Adagio roll, it's actually kind of nice because that slower rate of fire helps to mitigate some of that bounce factor. Next up, and the one that should have been the king, is the Trustee Scout Rifle from Deepstone Crypt. Trustee should have been the chosen one. This thing was meant to succeed Randy's. It was meant to be the best rapid fire in the game. 19 zoom, lowest in class, killer weapon model, it shades like a monster. It's got all the perks you want. It's got Surplus, Killing Wind, Under Pressure. You got Arrowhead Break, Accurized Rounds, and then you get to the right column and your only damage perk is High Impact Reserves. It's so close, man. And even then, I'm going to make the argument that Trustee is still good, at least right now, because we spread so many damage buffs with Radiant. Radiant is kind of like a free rampage. It still helps to lower your time to kill. If you can frequently proc Radiant with like Caliban's Hand and you have a God Roll Trustee, you will put in work. This thing is a goddamn laser beam. But overall, it can't be the best rapid fire because it needs a damage perk and it just falls short, man. This one should be it. This is the white whale. This is the Moby Dick of scout rifles. It should have been the chosen one. And it just, just like Anakin on Mustafar, it just got its legs cut off by Obi-Wan, and it just couldn't get there. And coming in last place for legendary rapid fire scout rifles is the Gambit exclusive Servant Leader. Now, Servant Leader is almost even more of a disappointment than Trustee because it has all the perks. In fact, it has every goddamn perk in human existence. Its perk page reads like War and Peace because Bungie wants everything to be hard and be painful no matter what. What this thing loses on biggest is that you have to play Gambit to get it. Straight up, don't want to play Gambit, don't want to do that. Secondly, perk page, too long. Gain a god roll is next to impossible. And then 3, it's the stats. Servant Leader has 26 zoom. Contingency plan, 20. Aisha's Embrace, 21. Symmetry, 20. Trustee, 19. Servant Leader, 26! 26 zoom. It's like you are eye-fucking the opponent, man. It's got too much zoom. It takes flinch like a... Oh, it takes flinch so poorly. And that bounce problem is never worse than with this goddamn lobotomy of a scout rifle. It should be good. Surplus kill clip, the contingency plan roll, is on the Servant Leader. It should be good. Listen, if you are manic enough to grind Gambit, it'll work. You just have to get over that scope and that flinch, but you also have to grind Gambit, so I don't really feel bad for you. This weapon is a disappointment. Lastly, and not because it's the worst scout rifle, but it's just so different it deserves to be the last one we talk about, and that is the exotic rapid-fire scout rifle, Symmetry. Symmetry is interesting because really it's 2 guns in one. Base, it's just a normal rapid-fire scout rifle. It's got good connectivity, a good scope, it's got good recoil. Everything about it feels a lot like Contingency Plan in that regard. It's the same zoom, so it's a very similar feel. But its exotic perk is weird. When you get headshots, not even headshot kills, just precision hits, you charge the Revolution perk. When you swap to the firing mode, you suddenly have this high damage tracking arc projectile that moves like molasses, but when it hits, it can do up to 100 damage, allowing you to 2-tap people. So it's a tracking 2-tap once you activate the perk with around 5 headshots, but this projectile is so odd, it's really big. So that when you're hip firing it, which is kind of the intent of this weapon, is to hip fire this projectile, it'll clip geometry on maps all the time. You'll be aiming at someone up in elevation, and it'll clip the top of the stairs even though your crosshair isn't there. You have to like aim above people if they're above you in elevation. It's really, really weird. But when it works, it's lethal because again, you're 2-tapping people, but it's at a slower rate of fire. So is it really that much faster in time to kill? When you factor in the travel time, kind of no. So it has this awkward play loop where really you just kind of use it like a normal rapid fire scout rifle, and then occasionally you swap it into this weird shotgun mode, and it's good. It's really not bad, but it's just kind of awkward. If the secondary projectile mode was a little bit more streamlined, maybe it traveled a little faster and didn't clip as much, I think Symmetry would be really scary. I've seen people who are really good with this, and it can be terrifying, but it's just inconsistent, so it's hard to recommend. If you use Symmetry and you like it, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something about how to use this weapon. If you use Symmetry a lot, maybe let me know in the comments down below what you do when you play with it, because it was just kind of odd. But hey, at least it's got a really cool look to its default, and its ornament's pretty sick, so I guess that's something. Anyways, that is our ranking of the rapid fire scouts in the game as they currently sit. Contingency Plan is king, Servant Leader is unfortunately the worst, but all of them are still quite good, even Symmetry and all of his oddities, so really you should give them all a try and find the one that works for you. This weapon archetype is excellent. It's even better now that snipers aren't as prevalent because of ammo limitations. So go out there, try something new, start planking away, own those lanes, become Larry, and let us know in the comments down below how it goes. While you're down there, make sure you like the video and subscribe to their channel as well. We got more content coming your way, and we will see you in the next one. Peace!